I've talked about Lady Reading and the bomb disposal teams, but I'd like to take a longer step back for a broader view and consider the British people as a whole. Let's look back to what it must have felt like for the population. Hitler and his vicious blitzkrieg had swept across Europe with astonishing speed and force. His unstoppable army had already invaded Czechoslovakia, Poland, Denmark, Norway, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, leaving really only Britain in its sights. Can you imagine what that must have felt like for the British people? Your freedom, your sovereignty, your very way of life is about to crumble before your eyes, and there's very little that you can do about it. For most of the people back then, it wasn't a question of if Hitler would invade, but simply a matter of when. Every morning they woke up with the same dreaded thought: is today going to be the day? Then the bombing of London started. That first night alone, 1,600 were injured and 430 were dead. One woman noted, she said, seeing one's possessions destroyed, a lifetime of memories, almost as devastating as losing a child. The first days were terrible as smoke and fear filled the air, while tens of thousands of homes were damaged and thousands of people were injured or killed. Another woman put the situation in perspective this way: people could just about cope with their own fears and the terror that the bombs brought. What they found far harder to bear was the death of someone they loved. But then an amazing thing happened. The people were down, certainly, but instead of giving up, instead of giving in, their shock slowly turned to strength. Even in light of the continual bombing, and remember, London was bombed day after day after day for weeks, but the people didn't give up. They didn't fold. Instead, they clung to their routines to get them through, and in fact, a survey in Nottingham showed that when the air raid sirens sounded, 1 in 3 made tea. I love that. Hitler's failure to invade soon rekindled a fighting spirit. Yes, they were apprehensive, they were concerned, but they kept getting up morning after morning and doing their duty, whatever that was for each one of them. I think the lesson is that if they can do hard things as ordinary people, then we can also do hard things. It wasn't an easy victory or a quick victory, but their refusal to cower eventually paid off, and we all know the outcome. So, to any British citizens who see this, hats off to you. You did a smashing job, and this American is rightly impressed.